So we are on to our last race of the weekend, and it is of course the Junior Rotax. And with over 90 drivers registered in the class, all fighting for a win and hungry for those valuable championship points, even making it through to the super final is an achievement in itself. Let's go and join your race commentators, Jake and Alan.
Well, if Junior is anything like Senior, we're in for a real show. Charlie Hart and Stephen Duncan on the front row from Isaac O'Shea and Reese Lomax. Sam Baker and Adi Kulkarni from Gabe Fairbrother and Taylor Orridge. Then Gracie Mitchell and Ted Bradbury rounding out a very competitive top 10 indeed. Then it is Reza Sararuthan and Angus Scrivener from Pearson Bullock Carter and Blake Ticehurst. Barnes, Purchase Clark, Earl Mackay and Carl. And then Ethan Head and Matthew Lambert from Bailey and Charman. Kernahan and Max Taylor from Watson, Speakman, Adam Zacton and Alex Duncan from Kinghorn, who just scraped in with Hussein, Bella Franklin and Ethan Bentley. Let's rock! 14 minutes on the clock and time to see what the Junior Rotax boys and girls can serve up. Through the chicane for the first time. Is everybody going to get through? Well, just about. There's one or two trying to throw it off the apron already as we go on the visor cam with the Charmander in through McRae's. And Ewan Charman already giving himself plenty of things to do on this opening lap. This gives you a real flavour of where the driver's eyes go. They do say in the world of racing that your cart goes where your eyes go. So obviously he's having to work it very hard. On board with Gracie Mitchell. Through the stewardesses for the first time, up and over the curbs, hunting down the 53 of Ted Bradbury in the hope that she can make up more progress, but it's been very tricky in this opening lap already as Charman tries to slice in on the inside of the 11 of Levi Earl, and Earl is not giving any space at all. At the end of the first lap, it's Hart from Duncan, O'Shea, Lomax, Origin Fairbrother with Ted Bradbury, a brilliant start. Oh!
Orridge gone, that's Gabe Fairbrother up the inside, Jake, and that's fascinating because this is almost a replica move that Gabe Fairbrother suffered from last time at Glannygorse. This time it's him doing the overtaking.
Oh.
The contact is just in front of the rear wheel, exactly how Gabe was taken out at Glannygorse. Now, I said last time, here's a look from the drone, I said last time if the officials had seen that incident or it had been reported to them, they would have taken action, and in this case, on the radio, they're talking about it. So this time they have seen it, and I do believe, having seen the replay, I'm going to give you my honest opinion, it's a slam dunk penalty, unfortunately for Gabe, and indeed Kart 2 under investigation.
Well, Sam Baker, Blake Ticehurst and Reza Sararuthan are all going to get past Gracie Mitchell on the run to the stewardesses. A very tricky moment there for her. She's still got plenty of opportunities to fight back into contention. Back on board with the Charmander. Can he get past Levi Earl? Down into St John's. Looks through the right-hander. This is such a physical circuit anyway, Raura, but getting the visor cam, look at how much goes through the body. Up into Paddock Bend. He can't quite get alongside enough to get the overtaking move done. So he has to slot back in. This is fascinating as Ted Bradbury gets the fastest lap of 46.7 from him.
Yeah, what you were saying earlier, Jake, about where you look, your cart goes or your car goes, or this is more a thing about motorcycle racing, particularly. You're on a motorcycle, you're on a track, or you're on the road, for example, and you look at the curb which is coming up on the outside of the bend, your motorbike will go to the curb and it will kick you off. No doubt about it. But that's why when you look at people as they're going around a corner, they look where they want to be, not where they think the cart might be going. You don't want to look where you don't want the cart to go. You want to look where you want the cart to end up, and that's exactly in karting, in car racing and in motorcycle racing exactly what you'll see the drivers and riders do. They'll look where they want to end up.
So Charlie Hart banks in the fastest lap from the lead. Here comes the move from Charman. Does it? He's going to leave it late to get alongside Levi Earl. He can't quite finish it off, and he's getting frustrated. Sat behind the Sam Pollitt racing driver, trying his best to get through on the inside line, but Levi Earl is keeping his cart in exactly the right places. Here comes Mitchell, dives in on the inside of Blake Ticehurst. Thanks, buddy. I'll have that one. That was a lovely manoeuvre into the stewardesses from Gracie. So now the battles continue on through the field. But Charlie Hart is only about 0.8 of a second now in front of Stephen Duncan. There's battles all the way through. Look, this is outside the top 20. And check this out. You've got Lambert, Bailey, Franklin, Kinghorn, Bentley, Orridge and Finley Watson just a whisker in front of Max Taylor as diving through move after move. That is a good recovery from Taylor Orridge, diving in to find the space. And that's another thing that drivers are advised by their coaches, by others in the sport. you try to fill the gaps. You always look for an opportunity, put your kart into that gap, because as the bend flows out, you'll find that you can actually get better traction, but then trying to hustle for an overtaking move. If you fill the gap, you've got a better chance of moving forward.
Yeah, the other thing the driver coaches will tell you, if you get an opportunity, you go for it. First opportunity you get, you go for the move. Don't sit there behind a driver, wait for the next corner, or wait for the next corner. One opportunity, one overtake, and you've got to go for it every single time.
So there is Ewan Charman, currently sat behind Pearson Bullock Carter, having got past Alex Carl and Levi Earl at long last. Now trying to dice for position further back. This is getting spicy as we watch a great duel unfolding here. This is the tussle between Orridge Duncan, Bella Franklin and Sophie Kinghorn. They're all having a great little tussle. We saw Aaron Mackay battling with Ethan Bentley and Reese Bailey there as well. So lots of great dueling all around the course, and a lot of drivers trying to make their impact in greasy conditions here in Junior Rotax. But this is the battle up front. Charlie Hart and Stephen Duncan are well clear, but you've still got the likes of Sam Baker and Reese Lomax dueling for position. Diving through, this is for 15th place. You've got Pearson Bullock Carter, Charman, Colin Earl, and Ewan Charman has only just managed to get to the front of that quartet. We're watching the battle for 9th go through. That's Kulkarni, Clark, Siraruthan and Ticehurst, wheel to wheel, down to the first corner between Ethan Head and Zaki Hussain. So some good battles there, and they're being chased down by Angus Scrivener and the young man from Northern Ireland, Ruben Kernahan. But this is the battle for 9th again. Kulkarni, Clark, Siraruthan and Ticehurst still battling their way through. And still the race goes on all the way down the field. Next lap, check this out. Charlie Hart is 1.6 from Duncan, and a further 3 seconds ahead of Ted Bradbury. The leading trio have not only gone away from the rest of the pack, but they've spread out from each other. Charlie Hart has already got one hand on the trophy.
Yeah, Charlie Hart, good recovery after Glenigorse Park was involved in that incident with Gabe Fairbrother, of course. Didn't get a penalty that day because it wasn't seen. Gabe has got a penalty, I believe. This is a battle for 10th.
That is a lovely move from Leo Purchase. He dives in on the inside, and I think there might be another opportunity for an overtake there from Stephen Barnes. He dives in on the inside of the final turn, and there isn't really a lot that Reza Sivaruthan can really do about that. That's going to benefit Ewan Charman, who has dropped the trio that he was battling with earlier on. Now he's got a chance to move up into 14th past Reza Sivaruthan.
So Taylor Orridge has moved up to 23rd, Jake, which is a good recovery, bearing in mind he was pretty much turned around the wrong way after that early incident with Gabe Fairbrother. I did say earlier, it looks like Gabe's going to get a penalty. They've been talking about it on the radio, the officials. It has been seen. And Gabe will probably feel a bit hard done by. Well, you didn't do anything about it when I got taken out last time. But I said before, I'll say it again. If the officials see it or it's reported to them, and in this case they did see it or it was reported to them, they will take action, and that's what they've done in this case. Unfortunately for Gabe, wasn't seen last time, but unfortunately for him this time, is a battle for 25th to 31st, battles all the way down the field. Unfortunately for Gabe this time, has been seen. He has been deemed to be responsible and will get a penalty at the end of this race.
Yeah, this is fantastic. You've got Franklin, Taylor, Adams Acton, Duncan, Kinghorn, Aaron Mackay and Ethan Bentley. And having a great squabble, and even Reese Bailey and Finn Watson aren't far away. Now, this is getting a little bit interesting, as we've still got plenty of time for things to change in these last couple of laps, especially considering how rough and tough and ready it can get in Junior Rotax. This is a nice little tussle. Lomax and Mitchell, they're dueling away for 7th place. Something could kick on between them. Archie Clark has managed to get himself into 9th place at the head of his quartet. And this is the overtaking move into the final turn. Is it not quite? As Taylor Orridge hangs on here in front of his rivals, Ethan Head and Matthew Lambert. But out in front, Charlie Hart. He's been able to pull well clear of Stephen Duncan. Just measured things very nicely here. Now, look at the time we've got left. It's only a few seconds left. He's not going to be able to start another lap before the time goes down. So this one is going to be the final lap this time by. Here we go. And Charlie Hart, he can just dance his way to the victory. He can pull over, have a cup of tea, get back in and win the race with that kind of a gap.
Yeah, decent gap for Charlie Hart. Comfortable victory for him this weekend. And he'll feel that justice has been done after the dramas at Glenigorse Park. He's going to take an easy win. The only thing that will stop him now is if there's some drizzle on the track, but it doesn't look like happening.
Oh, don't curse him right at the bitter end. That would just be so unfortunate, as the field is still working their way through. But there is Charlie Hart. This has been a long time coming for him, a race performance like this where finally there are no issues, there are no difficulties, and he's going to get the just deserved reward that he's been working hard for all weekend. Charlie Hart comes through, checkered flag, boom, bang, tidy. Excellent result. Stephen Duncan in second place, and the ever-present Ted Bradbury. Great podium in front of Isaac O'Shea and Gabe Fairbrother. However, sadly, as we watch Lomax and Mitchell race to the line, no change between those two. Gabe Fairbrother, it was spotted by the officials, and they have penalised him 1 lap for driving in a manner incompatible with general safety. So Charlie Hart still wins from Stephen Duncan, Ted Bradbury third from Isaac O'Shea. Lomax is promoted to fifth ahead of Mitchell, Baker, Clark, Aditya Kulkarni and Blake Ticehurst. Good credit to Zaki Hussain as he made up 14 places to go from 32nd on the grid to 18th.
Well, super racing from those junior Rotax drivers there. 34 of them made it through to the super final from the 90 or more who are registered for the championship. So every driver was fighting for every place out there on the track in that one. So well done to all of them that made it through. And full credit as well to Isaac O'Shea. He got himself up to 4th place and he was 20th in the championship coming into this weekend. But the top 3 were the names we've heard before, aren't they? Championship leader Ted Bradbury got himself 3rd. Stephen Duncan in 2nd. But the man that started on pole got himself out into the lead, and then he just had to hang on to it throughout the race. That was, of course, Charlie Hart. Well done to you, sir. Let's go and catch up with him then at the podium.
3rd place in juniors, highly competitive class, of course, and just talk us through the race from your point of view.
Yeah, so I started 10th. Obviously, I had to pick them off one by one. Managed to come away with 3rd, but I'm glad my teammate Charlie came away with the win.
Okay, who do you want to thank?
Sam Pollitt Racing, especially Sam Pollitt and Lewis Brown for making me a better driver all the time and getting the kart perfect as per usual. Yeah, and my mum and dad, thank you.
Man of the North, so I'm guessing this is a track you know quite well.
I've done a few laps around here, but I don't know off the back of my hand like other tracks like Warren Law, but seconds. I'm happy with seconds. So. 2nd place keeps you in the championship hunt as well. Yeah.
So you're happy with that?
I think we're sitting 5th in the championship, so it's an alright result, I guess.
Yep. And who do you want to thank for your weekend?
I'd like to thank Hunter Motorsport for all the great setups, Potenza Racing Engines, and my dad on the spanners.
Okay, well done.
Thank you.
Obviously, I had a clean sweep in the heats, so just had a mint start and just kept building the times quicker and quicker. Just kept it consistent and won the race.
So it didn't matter today where you started. You started at the back, you won. You started at the front, you won, and then you won that super final. So great weekend for you. Who's it all down to?
Sam Pollitt Racing, Tom Moorkill for the spannering, absolute mint job as always. My mum and dad for making it all happen. My sponsors, Cumberland Platforms Limited and Jorvik Design Group, and Easy E.
A good run from Charlie Hart. Just as it starts raining, we can reflect on his performance. Ted Bradbury 2nd in the championship behind him, but look how close it is behind. Gabe Fairbrother and Lomax only 3 apart, and then Stephen Duncan, Ewan Charman and Pearson Bullock Carter ahead of Aditya Kulkarni, giving chase at fever pitch.
So that's it. Our weekend here at Rowrah has sadly come to a close, but the circuit the drivers all love really didn't disappoint. We now move into the business end of the season as we move on to round 5 of 6, and that will see us heading south down to Dorchester and Clay Pigeon Raceway, where we'll be at the end of July, and we do hope that you can join us then. But until then, from all of us here in the Cumbrian Fells, see ya.